All right, Coach, we'll start with an opening statement.
Obviously, anytime you can win, my old boss used to say you can win a Division One basketball game. It's not easy to do, and we're thankful and grateful for that. We get an opportunity to learn from it. I'll start with what I thought we did well. I thought offensively, obviously, we made shots. I thought we shared the ball. We had a high assist rate. I thought we played with good pace for the most part. Thought we attacked their coverage as well with our solutions. I thought that was a good thing. After the first couple minutes, I thought they stunned us with their physicality and their doubling of the ball screen to start the game on Scott and Johnson. We had prepared for that, but I thought our guys really were stunned with the intensity and physicality of it the first couple minutes, and then they adjusted. Thought we did a lot of good things on that end with the exceptional offensive rebounding. We got to be better there because that also affects our transition defense. Defensively, obviously our numbers are better than what they were against Yale, so that was encouraging. I thought we gave up too many good threes, and got to get that cleaned up. Thought our blockouts were just okay. Obviously, they had 20 offensive rebounds. We got to be better there. And then I thought our multiple efforts and talk when we rotate still has another level of play that we can get to. With that said, I would say, the one thing is we try to evaluate everything we do based on our standards, not on whether we win or lose the game. And I was a little bit disappointed in some attitudes during the game when we didn't get what we wanted, whether it was they didn't like an official's call or, maybe they missed a shot or something didn't go their way. And I thought we hung our heads a few too many times. Didn't get back with next play speed a couple times or on to the next play. And we got to be tougher than that. You can't wilt when you don't get what you want. That's a life lesson in addition to a basketball lesson. So got to be better there. Typically, our group's pretty good with that. I thought today we were just okay with that. And I expect more in that area with our attitude and our next play speed.
Can you talk about Amani Lyles and his new career high in points?
Yeah, mine did a lot of really good things. Shot it well, took good ones, plays patient. Usually when he plays off 2 feet and he's patient, he can really see he's a good passer and he'll make a good decision when he does that. Amani's a guy that's grown by leaps and bounds every year he's been here. I think the 2 years he went against a pro helped him every day in terms of being able to watch how Freeman would eat, sleep, hydrate, treatment, but early to practice, stay late, play hard all the time, great teammate, and do it again every day. So he's been around that. So I think, now he gets a chance to pass it on to some of the younger guys, like Freeman did for him, like Riak did for Freeman. So that's been a cool thing to see his growth and development. So that was the positive. The Curly Neal, when he got the ball and tried to go full court without outletting the pass to the guard who was wide open, I think it was Sharon. I don't know if I was real fired up about that decision he made, but other than that, he made a lot of really, really good ones.
Can you talk about how his teammates bounced off of that? They had 7 different players in double digits tonight. Is that more so with Amani leading the pack and them feeding off of that?
Yeah, you'd have to get the stats from Hunter and Brian, but I think going into tonight, we had 6 guys in double figures maybe, and another guy at 9.3, which was Eric. So that's, we've got obviously high octane offense. Whatever Ken Palm rates the offense at, it's a top 25 offense in America, adjusted based on schedule. So it's raw numbers are even better than that. So we can score. The question is, are we going to guard? Obviously, that got us in the Yale game, our inability to get stops consistently. And then tonight, I thought we were a little bit better defensively. I'll watch the tape, see what we need to get cleaned up there. But I think this team will go as far as our defense will ultimately take us into overachieving. Because offensively, I think we can score and we got multiple options.
You held on to the lead for 36 minutes. Could you just talk a little bit about that? Was it difficult at all, or how did you manage to do that?
Yeah, obviously we led for the bulk of the game, but I will tell you, I never felt easy just because they were kicking our tail on the glass and then making threes at an efficient rate. And if you keep getting second chance opportunities like they were, and you're making threes at 45 to 50%, it's game on. So we've got to be better in those two areas, as I mentioned earlier.
Can you talk more about Chabi and what he brings to the team?
Yeah, so I went on a hunch to play him a little bit. I wanted a little bit more size tonight, so we gave him more of an opportunity, and give him credit. He made the most of it. I thought he protected the rim a few times. He got some rebounds. He gave us some energy. I could hear him talking on defense. We needed that. And I thought he gave us some invaluable minutes.
He mentioned when he was in here that he's kind of a quiet guy. How do you break him out of the shell like what you just mentioned? You like that you heard him on defense.
Yeah. Well, if he's quiet, he was talking. That tells you how far we've got to go with our talk, Chad, because he was one of the louder ones tonight on defense. We've got some older guys. I've got to do a better job. I got to demand from those older guys they talk more. I supposed if we had our cell phones in the game and they could text each other and snap each other and TikTok each other and whatever else is going on right now, that we'd be the best talking team in America, would be my guess. But we don't get to play with those. So you're going to have to open your mouth. So we've got to be better there. I think a lot of the mistakes we can be covered up if we'll just talk, and that'll allow us to be more connected.
Connor got a minute and a half at the end of the game. How has he been this season?
He's been good. You trying to get me in trouble with his mother? So he got just a minute and a half. He's been great. I said yesterday we did our Thanksgiving grateful attitude of gratitude session where everybody gets up in front of the group and mentions 1, 2, or 3 things that they're thankful for. And for me, I mentioned the team because hadn't said it since he's been here now. It's his second year. Especially with my father passing, not taking for granted that I get to see him every day. That's pretty cool. I don't take that for granted. So, and I know he doesn't. Whenever he gets an opportunity to get in, he relishes that opportunity. But for me, as a coach, and getting the chance to coach your son, just to have him around every day, to see him in the locker room, film session, workouts, practice, like. I can assure you, after what I went through with my father, I'm definitely not taking that for granted.
Could you talk about Shamaska and him continuing his hot shooting after setting a career high himself in the Yale game?
Yeah, Shama's a big-time player. I mean, he's great in pick and roll. He's a good passer. He can score at all 3 levels. He's really, really between him, Tavari, and then Sharon, I always feel like those 3 guards, man, like we've got a set of guards that could play anywhere, anytime, any place. And so I love that about those 3 guys. They're competitive. They're not afraid of the moment. Shama obviously is a part of that guard snake, if you will, the 3-headed deal. But he does a great job. I think defensively he's gotten better. Still encouraged him and asked him to take some more steps there. And take advantage, obviously, of this being his last opportunity to play college basketball. And so he's a big part of what we do.
Just how does it feel to have over a handful of players who can score in double figures?
It's a great luxury to have that flexibility. On a given night, it reminds me of last year's team in that regard a little bit once we got going. Where you could have different guys score on different nights. Makes it harder to play against us, I think. Gives you a lot of flexibility. A lot of different players can score. We can score a lot of different ways. I think it obviously makes you harder to play against.
All right, Coach, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Hey, thanks, Chad. Go Zips.